And it was a dominant ground attack for Baltimore, too. Well, it also allowed Lamar Jackson to go to work with 2 passing touchdowns off of play action. We just showed you a couple of those. As you can see, there's been quite a contrast between Lamar passing off play action and passing without it this season. He's completed 71% of his throws using play action, but that drops to just 59% without it. And listen, Key, I realize that it was the Cowboys, and that's just something that we have to say before we get into this, but it did look like the Ravens found a recipe for success offensively last night.
Well, look, I would say it's the same success that they had last year. Run the football and allow Lamar to make a few big throws down the field, and that's what he did. He dazzled us last year with the same sort of sauce, right? Dan, you know, one of the things that they like to do is they like to run the football, and that helps his play action. You mentioned 71%. That is true. But when you look at it overall, last year he was 66%. This year slightly down 1%, 65%. You can win this way. Sure. You can certainly win a Super Bowl this way if your defense is playing solid and sound, because what they do is portable. When you think about the teams that they got to play in the playoffs, cold weather, Cleveland's, Pittsburgh's, Kansas City, they can move on with that stuff.
I agree with that, Key. And no team looks as good as the Ravens when they can stay on schedule and continue to proceed with their game plan that they had going into the game. My concern is when you have to have a differing style. Like, we've talked about this before, but when you look at what Lamar Jackson's talent is, we know the Ravens for being able to run. They almost put 300 on Dallas last night. They put 260 plus on the Steelers, so they can run the ball against anybody. It's the pressure from the opposing offense. When they get behind, do they have that little extra in their passing game in order to try to come back from a lead when you need the clock as well as scores to be on your side? That's my issue. Look, this team is well coached. They are going to play well in all phases of the game. Harbaugh is going to have this team doing what they do best down the road. My only concern, which has been voiced before by others, what do the Ravens do when they have to drop back and throw the football and they just can't continue to churn out drives and sustain drives on the ground? That's my only issue. And if they can get ahead on people, probably the most devastating team in the league outside of Cleveland with the way they run the football, and the Titans with Derrick Henry. The only issue is when they have to go the other way, Key. That's my number one question. Can they do it from behind?
What I would say, Dan, is don't get behind it. You won't have to worry about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that helps, right? But these are some games that are going to matter a lot against really good competition. Dan, what did the Ravens teach you about the Cowboys?
Everybody's on the clock down in Dallas.
Yeah.
Everybody, and that includes the head coach. I don't know how Jerry Jones can sit there right now and watch the Cowboys with Mike McCarthy and feel good about them when he's watching what's happening in Washington with Ron Rivera or in New York with Joe Judge. Like, listen, I get you're decimated by injuries. So are they. They're beat up, too. They're playing with their backup quarterback as well. By the way, the team that you played last night, they've been riddled by injuries as well. You look like a JV football team playing against the Ravens last night. And so there's no way that as this continues to spiral out, they got a month left of this season, and Mike McCarthy should be coaching for his job. I got some numbers to kind of frame into exactly what the Cowboys are right now. I want to get them right. They're 31st in point margin. That's only ahead of the New York Jets. They're 31st in efficiency. They're only ahead of the New York Jets. They're 31st in turnover margin. They're only ahead of the Denver Broncos. How is Mike McCarthy still feeling good about his job, and how does Jerry Jones still feel good about his job? Also, if they trend towards the number 2 pick in the draft, that's when it gets really interesting, because then do we re-sign Dak Prescott? Does Dak Prescott want to re-sign there? Who are we going to go get to go maybe mentor and develop the young quarterback that could be selected as 2? So, listen, everybody in Dallas is on the clock right now.
Dan, those are damning numbers, but we got something else today that was just as embarrassing and humiliating to the Dallas Cowboys in this shameful season, and that is the fact that the Dallas Cowboys, who networks usually fight over to get on as many times as they possibly can, were flexed out of the Sunday night spot against the San Francisco 49ers in favor of the Cleveland Browns. Tell me the last time the Cleveland Browns have taken the Sunday night slot of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, which loves to be on Showtime, prime time, whatever it may be. The Dallas Cowboys were flexed out of prime time today in favor of the Cleveland Browns and New York Giants. That right there typifies the season and tells you how low that team has fallen this season.
Can I interject something?
Yes, you can.
Drop this little mini bomb on NFL Live Wednesday. Dak Prescott should want out of Dallas. All right, and
Yeah.
I've been holding out and saying that. I've been thinking about, well, they did offer him a contract and all of that. Dak Prescott should want to find a new spot to play football. Not only the disrespectful nature of what's been transpiring, but you look at this. What about this franchise tell y'all they gonna go in the right direction in the next 2 years? Like, how long does Dak Prescott want to be subjected to being in a position? First of all, you got a quarterback that we all see now worldwide that was the only living pulse that you had as a football team before he got injured. And the biggest indictment is you don't have a choice now but to look like you look. So Dak should want to go somewhere else.
Hey, Marcus, we got to go real quick here, but I have a feeling we've just scratched the surface on this topic.
Right.
Off the top of your head, where would he go? Where would Dak want to go?
It's a team on the West Coast with a coach named Kyle Shanahan and a GM named John Lynch.
Well,
that would
49ers
love
action.
to have Dak
All right.
Prescott running that offense. The
All right.
San Francisco 49ers, yeah.
All right, so we'll see what happens. And if that ends up being true, we'll bring this bomb back December 9th of 2020. We'll see what ends up
Good job,
happening.
Marcus. Good job.
Yeah, Adam.
It is what it is.
Adam, you got anything to add there? I got to let you go real fast if you do.
I'll say this. That's the very first time that I've heard Dak Prescott connected to the 49ers, but I like it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.